Yeah, I was about to say. You know, I get started.
Press unmute, press unmute.
I already did that.
Thank you.
Step ahead of you. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the September 10th Zoning Board of Appeals meeting. I'd like to introduce the members. Out of my left, we have Steve Bishop,
You're
regular
gonna have to
member.
speak really loud.
Yeah, Steve Bishop to my left. To my right, we have Dennis Crow, regular member. Next, we have John Zier, regular member, and then we have Dylan Stella, who's an alternate member. Just remind everyone that 4 votes are needed for an application to be approved, that any and all items used are exhibits and will be retained in the file. After the applicant's presentation is made, the board will ask questions they may have, and then the audience may ask questions they have. After the discussion, we'll ask for anyone to speak in favor or against the application. Presenters or audience speaking are asked to give their name and address the first time they speak, and then their name any subsequent time they speak. When the application has been heard, we'll close the public portion of the hearing, and then the board will go into deliberations. At that time, only members of the board can deliberate, and no additional testimony to or from the audience can be permitted. And then usually when we are finished, we will make a decision whether or not to approve the application. So I'd like to ask our zoning officer, Maria Patola, to please read the appeals to be presented this evening.
Legal notice, Madison Zoning Board of Appeals, Madison, Connecticut. Notice is hereby given that the board will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024 at 7 p.m. This meeting will be conducted as a hybrid meeting in Meeting Room A, Town Campus, 8 Campus Drive, and remotely as a Zoom webinar. Attendees may join the webinar through either the webinar link below or call-in information below. www.zoom.us, webinar ID 92002702103, password 388818, or call in at 1-646-558-8656. Madison Zoning Board of Appeals, application number 24-12, 16 Scotland Avenue, map 39, lot 54, zone R2. Owner applicant Sylvia P. Phillips, variance request to section 3.6A to allow a 34.6 foot front setback where 40 feet is required, and section 12.6 to enlarge a non-conforming structure to construct an addition. Application also includes a coastal site plan. Further details, including application materials, are posted on the Town of Madison website, www.madisonct.org, under the calendar link to the meeting. Questions and comments can be emailed to the Land Use Office at landuse@madisonct.org up to 24 hours in advance of the meeting. Dated this 19th day of August, 2024, Richard Gilbert, Chair. This was published twice in The Source, once on August 29th and once on September 25th, 2024.
Thank you, Maria. So before I call the first applicant, we just state for the record, we are going to, Dylan Stella will be serving as a regular member this evening. So he'll be voting when we do deliberations and whatnot. So I'd like to call the applicant for application 24-12, 16 Scotland Avenue. If you could go ahead, please.
Sure. Is it going to be up on this? Okay.
Would you want the site plan first?
Yes, please. My name is Ryan Thompson. I'm an engineer and a land surveyor in Connecticut. My address is 19 Pepperbush Drive, Clinton, Connecticut. I'm speaking here on behalf of the applicant's daughter, who is Karen Buck, and she's in attendance. The applicant herself is unable to be here this evening. So this is the site plan. It's pretty straightforward. The existing house here is already non-conforming, and it's over the 40-foot setback line. I can't read it here, but it's 29.5 feet currently. The applicant proposes to put an addition to the north, and because it's behind the existing, but it's still over the 40-foot setback. So we're requesting the variance for this, I believe it's 34.6. Yeah, 34.6 to this front line here, which is held in common with the front line on the other side that's already existing. The other variance is because it's, we need to make the building larger to do the addition. That's really the long and short of it. I'll answer any questions.
Yeah, okay. I see the footprint. Not quite. I just feel a lot better if I can understand the whole plan of how this will work, maybe elevations or something.
Can you pull up okay, so can you scroll up just a little bit? So this is the existing. Yeah, can you scroll up?
Screen it, shrink it a little?
Yeah, shrink it so we can see the whole. Yeah, so this is the existing front as you see it from the street. And this is the existing side that the proposed addition will be on. So there's the entrance door. Everything kind of goes to the right. And I'll get into the layout of the floor plan in a minute. If you can scroll to the next page. So now the addition will be over here on the left side. So it'll just push forward, and then you can see this line here is the edge of the proposed addition. This is the existing entryway, and that's this part right here. So everything will go over there. Now, the main reason for it is, so if you can go back, I'm sorry, I don't mean to switch around, but it's just easier to explain in this order. So on the first floor, you have a living room, kitchen, dining, and front porch. Yep. And then you have 1, 2, 3 bedrooms on the second floor. Now go to the next page. So what the applicant wants to do is essentially make a larger master bedroom on the upstairs. It'll still be the same number of bedrooms. It's just a larger master bedroom. And then there's going to be it's just hard from this angle, I apologize. There's going to be a study added over here on the first floor. And that's for the applicant's daughter, Karen, who's here, to be able to, have her space for basically an office type environment. And that's essentially the bulk of the reason for the addition. If you want to add to any of that, I don't know if I.
Just state your name.
Yes, it's Karen Buck. My address is 71 Deepwood Drive, Madison, Connecticut. It will eventually be 16 Scotland Avenue, Madison, Connecticut. The main purpose of this is my father passed away in 2022. So it's very difficult for my mother to live in a home by herself. So my brother and my brother now lives in North Carolina, is moving back to Connecticut, are going to move in with my mother. So we just need a little bit more space, open floor plan. What's our dining room now, what you were saying, the study will be my work office. I do work from home. I'm an insurance agent. So clients don't come in. I just do all Zoom calls, work from home, work off site. And then want to make a new kitchen. Their kitchen has not been updated, and new windows. And since 1926, it needs a lot of updates. So we're just making a great room and a new kitchen down below. The old kitchen will just become like a butler pantry. And then upstairs will be a master bedroom. And one of the bedrooms upstairs, we're completely taking the wall down. It's just going to be like a laundry room sitting area. So it keeps it at 3 bedrooms. That makes sense. So just my mom, like I said, she can't live in the house by herself. And that house has been in the family. My grandmother owned the home. My parents bought it from them. So we're just bringing it down another generation. We want to keep the family in the house. And then hopefully one day my kids will take it over. So
I have a question. So you always have plenty of space to not come to the committee, just build it behind the
Yeah.
40-foot line.
So I can see if you can put the site plan back on, I'll explain why. It was actually originally intended to be done that way. Um, if you could go back to the site plan, yep. So this is the septic system back here. So we did get the B100 approved. There's no requirement to upgrade or redo the septic system. So pushing this back would impact the septic system, the tank right here. So we're trying to avoid that.
I'm trying to keep the house looking like it, originally was by keeping it all symmetrical on both sides.
So in order to avoid moving the whole entire septic system,
Yeah.
Yeah. And plus it would kind of look funny, the architect.
Well, and it would,
that
it
way.
would also be pushed back and it would look odd, but during conversations with the architect, this was ultimately selected for the purpose of avoiding impacting the septic system. At least from my perspective.
Right now, also the house is from 1926, so every room's closed off. So by putting the great room and the new kitchen, just the point where people are cooking in the kitchen, the family can be together. 3 adults are gonna live there, so we kind of need a little bit more of our own space also.
So let me ask about drawing there. The protrusion that exists that's in, closest to the
Right here.
street, yes. Is that the chimney?
No, that's the front entryway.
That's the front entry.
Yeah.
Picture of that?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Do you have a picture of the house there?
the wall,
I don't have a
This
picture.
right here?
Yeah, it's this right here. That's the protrusion that's coming out now.
okay. So what, your proposed wall will be aligned with the existing walls, or it's a straight line?
Yeah, the existing, so there is actually, and it's not shown here, but the chimney is like right in this area. This wall is aligned with the front wall that's not the entryway.
Why is the chimney not shown?
Just there's no specific reason. I just didn't show it.
is this it here?
The chimney's right there.
It's right here.
No, on the, or is that the front way, entryway? Down here?
Yeah,
Yes.
right there.
Any of the neighbors, have you gotten any suggestions from the neighbors? Have they said yes or no, one way or the other?
The neighbors in the 2-family house, if you look at the house to the right, just want us moving back in. They keep asking when we're moving back in. I told them what we're doing. This is our neighbor across the street. And then other neighbors to the side that we're building on, I don't see much of them. Like, they're brand new. They just moved in recently. So. No, they're building a new next door to you. They completely demolished the house and about to put a new house home.
Can I see the application?
The application?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I get to this page, if you just want to
So,
go ahead.
so there's your two sections that you want variances on, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Once
I
it's.
only saw one in there. Wait, two, I'm sorry, there is section. 06 to large non-conforming. So,
Mhm.
explain that one.
Sorry, can I explain?
12.6 variance.
So, yeah, I mean, in summary, because the site there's existing nonconformity on the site, the building is already a nonconforming building. In order to enlarge it, according to section 12.6, we have to get a variance to that specific item,
Okay, so it's just the fact that it's not conforming.
just because it's nonconforming. That's what, yes. Yeah. Do you want it?
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Anything you want to, yeah.
Well, I didn't know if they wanted to see
Yeah, go
Go ahead.
go over and summarize that.
yeah, I mean, essentially, it's kind of what we've already said. It's, you know, it's built in 1926. It has 3 bedrooms. It's a fairly small structure. Currently, there's only one person, going to be 3 people living there. And, you know, just wishes to add these two, you know, these two, specifically the larger bedroom and the study, and upgrade the kitchen. It's also for ease of the, you know, her mother who's aging. I mean, essentially the addition's going to remain, and, you know, it's going to tie into the rest of the structure. It's going to have the same siding and all the things that make it look appealing. Michael Spindrift is the architect. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I think he's done a number of things in the town. That's really it. I'm not really one for flowery speech, so
Okay.
apologize for that.
So, we're saying that the existing 2,200 square feet is very cramped.
I mean, it's dated, it's cramped,
The
That's,
house is 2,300.
Every room
That-
is closed off, and a lot of the architects said a lot of the walls, if they tried to open it up and take the walls down, it would be structural. Well, we actually suggested the best part is if you want to open up the house and build an addition. So the way the house is built, a lot of the walls that are closing each room off are bearing walls, I think we call them.
so just to clarify that it's 2,200 square feet is floor area, not the footprint of the house. The footprint of the house is 1,123.
I understand.
Okay, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, mine's 2,300.
The footprint,
No,
oh,
I think that's the square footage. I think I can. Yeah. So we're going 50% increase.
no, I think it's.
Yeah, they're not requesting a variance.
No, I'm just.
Yeah, that complies. That doesn't have any,
Yes,
yeah, that all complies with what the undersized lot they have already.
yes, but by virtue of increasing it and pushing it into the
Well,
setback.
I mean,
That was my observation.
that's just to try to keep it, you know,
Yeah, and people have the right to the property as they will within the zoning, you know, plus variances. So I'm not objecting to it, just trying to recognize what the hardship is what it boils down to.
I think-
A hardship to pass.
So the fact that I think the septic system location being where it is the hardship. It doesn't allow you to push back.
the septic system is not a hardship. It's, the hardship is got to do with why you're building more.
Why we're building more?
Sorry?
Because,
Well,
can I answer that?
Sure.
Yeah, because, myself, who's lived in a house by myself pretty much, at the square footage, my brother, who's 65, who's moved into the house, and now my mother, so there's gonna be 3 different type of people living in one home. We just needed a little bit more floor space. I happen to, for me to move in with my mom, I like an open floor plan, so that's what the addition's all about, is the open floor plan. My brother and I are both chefs, we cook, so we wanted a nice kitchen. There's no room in the kitchen she has now to open that floor plan, so mainly it's a new kitchen coming in. So it's, my mother's getting older, she very stubborn woman, wants to live upstairs with us, we're putting in one of those chair lifts, but I'm trying to make laundry room on one floor for her, everything comfortable, so my mom would be able to live there. My brother's an occupational therapist, I have him moving in, it's also to keep my mom in her home.
I think the hardship might be you have a non-conforming structure to build it in a logical way requires another non-conforming structure to attach.
I don't see a hardship written on. That gives me pause,
I'm not,
other than just, well, it's crowded.
it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot from 1920. The house was built over what is now the setback. That's why, that's the variance they're asking for, is to, in order to put the addition on. They're going back behind, further behind what the existing house is, but it's still over the front setback because of the pre-existing non-conforming structure being so far up on the property.
Still a lot.
That's
further
considered
back
a
than
hardship.
most.
Well, I want to talk about that deliberation. The hardship has to do with, you have to, more or less justify that you need the space before you can justify the fact that it has to be there. Okay, and just to say, well, I want to have an open floor plan. That's not a hardship. See what I'm saying?
But
And that's where I'm struggling.
so if I may, I don't think that we're required to show a hardship for justifying the space, because the space, the total square footage and everything meets within the zoning regulations.
Yes.
So,
Agreed.
yeah, so-
However, to say that you will need a variance, what is the hardship? Just the fact that something else, something was built there, and that doesn't justify a hardship for anything else that comes along.
well,
I mean, you can come up with, a lot more than that, and say, well, we already have.
so again, and if I may, I think that so if you could go back to the 2 sections,
Did, the plan or the application?
the application, the two sections that we're requesting, yeah. Right here, I'll keep going up, sorry. So this is essentially in my mind, the variance that really matters, if you will. This variance, I don't believe would even be requested if we weren't trying to get this. Like if we were just building the addition anywhere else within the setbacks, we wouldn't, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't want to misspeak, we wouldn't even have had to come before the zoning board of appeals. Is that essentially correct?
For the front portion?
If we were to build the addition
If you had the space in the back, if the septic wasn't there,
Yeah.
if you added the addition on to the back and it met side
and front,
and rear,
and front, and
well, if you put it in the back,
Yeah.
because the front is where the problem is. If you had
Yep.
put it in the back and you complied with rear setbacks, side setbacks, floor area,
Mhm.
and coverage with the lot that you have, because you also have a smaller
Mhm.
lot, because it's a pre-existing non-conforming lot.
Right.
You would not have to ask for it, but you couldn't put it in the back because of the septic, so you had to get it to the
right,
side.
that's my point.
Yes.
So if we weren't over that setback line in the front, we wouldn't even be here talking about this one. We would be able to do it. So this is essentially a secondary variance request as a result of this, but this is the main issue. Putting it back closer to the septic system is not feasible for a number of reasons. There's really not, further back on the lot, you have bad soils, you really can't replace the septic system there. It would, theoretically, you could do a mounted system or something, but I mean, we're looking at an exorbitant cost for something like that, for something that's already been approved, that doesn't need to be upgraded. So just to stay 4.6 feet, or actually 5.4 feet, further back would be a substantial amount of earthwork, soil disturbance for new septic systems, all this stuff. And would also, in my opinion, not meet the same, the neighborhood. It would look odd. It would be farther back. It wouldn't be in line with that front line. It would just be an addition stuck out there in left field. I know that's not a hardship, but I do think it matters. And so yes, I believe that the hardship is the fact that to do this, you're significantly disturbing the rest of the lot in order to make it all work for one addition.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to, I'm not an attorney, so I do apologize.
I think the point that I'm making about the square footage is that if in fact you did push that, just the front part of that addition back that 5.4 feet, get less square footage instead of pushing out to the back, it would reduce the square footage. Now, does it make sense that that might obstruct the flow of the house and everything else?
But then it might not be keeping with the character,
That's.
Might not, but
which
that's-
is,
that could be up to an architect to make it that way, but. So that's the big question. Is I don't see a clear statement in the application of a hardship. And that's, when I looked at this in the beginning, and looked online to see the application. And I did go to the house today and looked at it. I understand it. I just struggle with applications that don't.
if you have questions, I mean, if you want to keep questions or you want to go in, I mean, you're bordering on both deliberating and asking questions, so.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions for the applicant? Comments from anyone wishing to speak in favor of the applicant?
We don't comment?
I'm sorry?
Want comments?
If you'd like to speak in favor or against, yes. If you'd like to, could you state your name and address, please?
The way I understand it, I
Can you
live
state your
exactly
name and-
across the street.
Excuse me, can you state your name and address?
And,
Say your name and address.
Yeah,
Dave Morowski, Morawski, 17 Scotland Avenue, exactly across the street from number 16. And we've been there for 50 years, and so we've known Sylvia since she moved in. I have no objection to it. I came here to see what it's going to look like. I'm pleased that it's, but the way I understand it, that it's flush with the house. You're talking about moving that back. I'm not sure that would look so good, but the front of the house is well architected, really a nice house. And I wouldn't want them to see cut off any of those eaves and haven't done that. So, is that the question, whether to move the whole addition back this 5 feet to comply?
no, the question is just whether you wanted to speak in favor or against the application, so it sounds like you're in favor of it. That's pretty much what we're opening the floor up to. Thank you for your
Okay.
comments. And anyone online, Maria?
No.
So, anybody else have any questions before we do the deliberations or any final statements from the applicant?
No, again, it's like I said, it's a house that we want to keep with family. My grandmother owned it before my parents. I'm going to take it over with life use for my mother, of course, and hopefully it'll just go to my children. So it's, we love Madison, we want to keep it in the house, but we just want to get it updated with windows, a little bit more open floor plan, so we can have family gatherings and actually talk to each other. Right now, with every room closed off, if you're in the kitchen, you can't talk to anybody that's in the living room, et cetera, or vice versa. So we're just trying to make it more of a family gathering. So hopefully it's.
Okay, thank you. There are no more questions or comments. I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion of the hearing and move to deliberations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, who would like to start?
I'll start. Joe, this is one of those tough ones where you got to kind of use a little discretion on how you look at this. I would consider the septic a hardship, just to move it and redo the septic lines and everything else, that's probably a $40,000 job in my estimate. I think, we have some responsibilities for consistency with the town and doing that too. We have a lot of flexibility as a board to approve things that we think are borderline hardship, which I consider this a borderline hardship because technically you could move the septic. But I think the hardship is the money factor involved there. I went by the house, I think keeping the line straight and everything else would be nice. And I'm behind this. I'm in favor.
Sure, so I'll go next. I think we should be, in terms of hardship, looking for peculiar characteristic of the land. I don't think we should be really going outside of that. But, in this case, because of the age of the house and the location, I could possibly see that as a hardship. I think I agree with Steve that we do have discretion and I think aesthetically it would look nicer the way this is designed. It'd be nice to see a reduction of some sort, but that's not here. Again, maybe that goes to discretion, so. Speak. Dennis?
Yeah, I think we use discretion on every one of these things. You see that this one's any different. I do struggle when there's not a well-rationed hardship stated there. These variances are supposed to be based upon hardship. There are a few other rules that we've encountered, FEMA and so on, that change things, but the I understand the meaning. I do acknowledge that adding the cost of moving a septic system is expensive. I also recognize that there's a lot of added space that theoretically, without talking aesthetics, but just theoretically, you could put an addition on there and expand things without having to encroach on the setback line. That having been said, I do recognize the difficulties and the closed walls. And so trying to expand living space. So just perception, and I struggle with.
John?
Well, I also took a look at the house and noticed that there's a lot of space between the two homes, in addition, where the addition is going to be added to. So, from a aesthetic point of view, I don't see that is harming the neighborhood. As far as the building, the size of the addition, well, I think it falls within the parameters of the R2 zoning, so what everything that's been said, I would support the application.
Dylan?
Yeah, I have to agree with what Steve said. I do think it's a difficult case. And I do understand that there's maybe like a borderline of hardship, with regards to the septic system and the fact it's pre-existing non-conforming structure, and it would be kind of difficult to not encroach and on the setback. But at the same time, it's not particularly an egregious nonconformity. It looks in line with the neighborhood. It's in line with like the rest of the house. It looks aesthetically pleasing the plan. And it seems like no neighbors are objecting to it. So I guess in that case, I would be inclined to, but I recognize it's a difficult case. But I would need time to approve it this time.
Okay. Anybody else? You got a motion? Okay, I can go for it. So
Can you give us a cheat sheet?
I'll make since the purview of the board seems to be towards approval, I'll make a motion then to approve application 24-12, 16 Scotland Avenue. We'll have a variance for 3.6A and section 12.6. Stating that the construction must adhere exactly to the plans presented to the board, and the reason for the hardship is the odd-shaped lot and the location of the house. Pre-existing. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm
Okay,
voting with you.
it's unanimous then.
Do you want to do the coastal site plan now?
There's a,
This coastal for this one?
There was a coastal and we did not, because it's in the coastal zone, we did not hear back from DEEP. They never acknowledged it. Did you want to go over the application or?
yeah, can we just very briefly go to the?
Do we need to go back? Did we return to the public?
You don't have to go in and out of the public area. No.
Okay, deliberations are over.
Yeah, you voted, so we can,
I'll make it
And we're
very,
presenting, yeah, we're not in deliberations.
right, you already voted. Yeah, so you're not in deliberation.
That ended.
Yeah.
all right, so I'll make it very short regarding the coastal site plan. There's only really one reason why it is, and it's because it happens to fall with an arbitrary line that was established within Madison saying that it's needed. There's really no other reason. It's not within 100 feet or 25 feet of any coastal resources, tidal wetlands, or any of that stuff. So it's just, it's a check the box.
Anybody have any questions?
We need to go back in deliberations for that?
I don't.
I move to go back in deliberations for that.
You want to?
Say second. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. I move we approve the coastal site plan. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes, right?
Thank you.
Congratulations. So now we have minute approval. So,
Thank you.
Am I all set?
thank you, yes, you're all set.
Thank you.
We'll send a letter with the variance. The variance needs to be recorded in the town clerk's office.
Okay.
letter will go to you and, Ryan, I don't know who wants the original, if you want it to come down. Okay.
Can I come down and get it? Or,
We'll mail it to you, you can
Okay.
come down and file it.
okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
I've been
Appreciate it.
trying to follow the opening,
Wrong board.
nonprofit. There's no information about it.
Oh, sorry, this is, yeah, that would be the regular zoning.
Oh, that's not.
That's regular, this is zoning board of
Regular
appeals.
zoning?
That's planning and zoning, yeah, they're the ones here. No, this is just zoning board of appeals.
Different commission.
Variances.
Yeah.
Different commission.
Yeah,
You can go on the website and play all the things back.
Yeah.
They're all recorded.
You can always,
There was two different ones.
yeah, two different commissions.
Very good, thank you.
thank you. Can I get I'm not gonna motion these because I wasn't here.
Well, I move we approve the minutes for the August 13th,
Second,
2024 Board of Appeals meeting.
Scott seconded, all in favor? I'm gonna abstain because I was not there. Motion to adjourn,
So moved.
all in favor?
Oh, I thought we-
Aye, all right, we're done.